Say, we just made a false claim. You won't find me in the jar. I've decided not to try to top all of the people who introduced my next guest from time to time in his various appearances of this kind by talking about his great charm and good looks. He's probably sick of that. And anyway, a pretty face is just another pretty face in this business. So will you welcome, please, the very plain-looking and ordinary former star of The Saint and one of the co-stars of a lot of women's favorite series, I'm told, maybe more women than men, I wonder. The Persuaders, of course, I mean. Roger Moore.
What do you mean, plain?
Well, I thought you must be sick to death of being introduced as a handsome rogue and
Continue. I like it already.
A good-looking dog, a lady killer. You don't hear that phrase much anymore, but...
A dog, I hear quite often, actually.
Oh, dog, do you? Various forms of that. Well, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, we have that out of the way.
That, yeah.
Yeah. Say, now, are you depressed? Is your show going off or canceled or something like that?
We run through the summer.
Yeah.
And then we go off. And I'm delighted.
It's a very nice attitude.
No, because I...
Can you explain that?
No, because I joined last year the board of Faberge, and...
The what?
The board of Faberge.
The board of Faberge. Oh.
And...
Before an accent, I have very hard time.
I say Faberge, as they say in Australia.
Faberge.
No, and... Faberge is better.
Yeah, it is a little nicer that way.
And we also have a film company within Faberge, Brute Productions.
Brute?
Brute Productions. You're lovely. You repeat everything.
I didn't realize I was ringing a cash register somewhere as I do that.
And actually, we made an announcement, and I'm managing director of the European side of Brute Productions, which we're sort of in the picture business in rather a big way. We announced yesterday our plans for this year, which in May we're producing a film starring Elizabeth Taylor called Nightwatch from the play.
Oh, I'm so glad they're making a movie with Elizabeth Taylor.
Did you see the...
I've always thought she'd be good in a movie.
Well, she needs some money.
I met her once, if it's the one we're both thinking of, and I said, you ought to be in the movies.
I made my first picture with her.
You did?
Yeah, she became a success. What happened to me?
You were in National Velvet? No.
So that was her first, Lassie Come Home.
No, come on.
No, my first picture was the last time I saw Paris with Elizabeth and Van Johnson.
Were you in that?
Mm-hmm.
Who did you play now? I forget.
Elizabeth Taylor.
No. And then she took your name and went on to...
No, I was a tennis bum.
The tennis bum?
Yeah, my first day shooting was with Van Johnson, and I arrived green from England. Yeah. And a nice man.
Yeah.
But my first day in the studio, and I had to hit Van Johnson. He was her husband in the film.
Yeah.
And there's a face from England down there.
Hello. It is? Is there a body with it?
Oh, it's a beautiful body with it. And I had to throw a glass of scotch in Van's face.
And you, a newcomer, had to hit the star with the glasses?
He drank it.
Caught it in midair?
But anyway, we're doing that film, and then we're doing a film with Glenda Jackson and George Segal called A Touch of Class, which Mel Frank's directing.
Gee.
Then we're doing another film which Mel Frank will direct called Getting Rid of Mr. Straker, which will star myself and Lee Remick.
That sounds good.
And Orson Welles.
Do you sell any shoelaces or anything?
We just sell a lot of fragrance.
Oh, yeah. But does this mean that you're leaving acting? I mean, you don't have to demean yourself anymore?
No, but I'm going to act in one of them. We also have 3 other pictures we didn't announce yesterday because I haven't told George Barry that I'm going to spend all that money for him. But we make 3 other pictures with me as well.
You'll be a tycoon if half these things are successful.
If I live long enough.
Is the strain of that more than the strain of acting and punching people and being punched and...
Well, I never really work very hard anyway, do I?
Yeah,
I sort of get up and go to the studio and I say the words, if I can remember them, and go home and count my money.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Don't you?
You mean
Doesn't
you're not...
everybody?
No, I'm in it for the pleasure that I bring to shut-in people.
Oh, that's nice.
I thought that's what you were.
No, I really do it to just keep the country, I sort of count the money. I say 1 for me and 20 for you, and
You've
One
got
for me and 20 for you.
You have a government to support.
No, a wife.
It's an old Bob Hope line. Wife? Well, they can be as expensive as a government.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah. Do you have just one wife?
At the moment, never more than one at a time.
Okay. Some of
There
you
are a couple along the way. You know.
Let me. This isn't connected with your company, is it? You won't be offended if I.
Well, I'll be offended, but please do.
Okay, I'm going to offend you. Indoor heat, dry skin, robs it of its beauty. You can have softer, smoother skin all winter. Here's how, from Sardo Bath Oil. I'm talking with Roger Moore, who... Did I ask you once if we're about the same age? I mean, you don't need to answer
We
either
did,
part of that.
and we established, after you asked me to leave the show, that you were 5 years older than I am.
Are you putting me on, or what?
No.
No, I remember because you were alive during the. You were alive. I mean, you remember World War II, and you were bombed. I remember.
Most of the time.
Well, but you really recovered from that.
You're a lot younger than I am.
Am I really? Where does it show?
On you or me?
No, I think we must be about the same age because I remember World War II quite clearly.
Go on, I'll start.
Yeah?
How old are you?
I'm over 30 and less than 40.
All right, I'm less than 70 and over 30.
Oh, well, you are older than I am. No, I'm 35. I figure I make you about 38.
I'm 44.
44.
But I'm honest.
Yeah. Oh. Oh, I see. No, I really am. I'll show you my identification. My identity.
Your identity.
My identity. When you went to school in England,
Yeah.
I know, and you have the English education, always when you read about British schools, there's always some sadistic character in there somewhere who either beats the other students or does other unmentionable things, or
Well, well, I was never at a school where there were sadists. There's a reason I won't send my children to boarding school.
Seriously.
Absolutely. I would never let them go away from home. I went to one school, and the Latin master said, in English, not in Latin, he said, "You're a very good-looking boy, and I think you need some extra tuition. And would you stay in after class?"
Yeah.
I wrote home and I said, "Dear Mum, please send me my bicycle or my fare because I'm coming home."
The Latin master was after you?
I don't mean he was dark. You know.
No, he was...
He talked Latin.
Yeah. Well, what can you do about that as a kid? I mean, how did you get out of that?
Well, you can either stay at the school and get good marks, or you get out of the school, don't you?
Good marks.
I didn't pass in Latin.
Well, that's frightening. Were you scared at the time?
No, not really.
Is there something peculiarly English about that? We always hear that the English schools have a way of corrupting young men.
No, I don't think it's confined to England. It goes on everywhere, you know.
But there's a...
You know that in... This is a funny story. In England, that homosexuality was just made legal. They passed a law.
Yeah, what do they
amongst
call that?
consenting adults.
As a result of the Wolfenden Report or something like that?
Which Lord Longford was on the committee. And there was a man who immigrated to Australia. And they said, "Why have you come?" And he said, "Well," he said, "they made it legal in England, and I'm leaving before they make it compulsory."
Very funny.
Oh, there's two of them out there.
Two Englishmen.
No, two Australians.
Oh, Australia. What was going to ask you about? Oh, I also know that you were a policeman's son.
Yes.
Was this rough?
No, it was great.
I mean, the other kids were kind of...
No, if anybody picked on me, I'd rush home and I'd get my father's helmet out of the wardrobe.
Yeah.
And I would stick it on my head and just put my head over the windowsill and frighten the life out of the other kids, you know. They thought Dad was home.
They thought that he had come after them?
Yeah. But actually, my father, although he was in the police, I think I saw him in uniform once. He was what is called a plan drawer.
I don't know what that is.
Well, if there's an accident, somebody draws up where the accident was or the scene of the crime. They draw up the room and the dimensions. So he worked at home. And my father's a great athlete and a swimmer. He would take me out in the summer. He'd take me swimming all day. And he would do his plan drawing at night. Yeah. So I never saw my father work as a kid. And so I'd be asked what I was going to do. I say, "Well, I'm going to be a policeman like my father. I'm not going to work."
And did he see to it that you were very law-abiding? What if you had been caught stealing something and it would have been a scandal?
Wouldn't be a scandal, but he'd have knocked my head off. No, I think he brought me up with a great respect for the law.
Yeah.
That's not the reason I play all these people who break the law.
That's what I was wondering. I wonder if you, in some Freudian would say that you are actually getting back at your father, even though you pretend to like him, you don't because you've assumed the role in later life of lawbreaker.
No, actually, at one point in my life, I wanted to join the police. I have a tremendous respect for law and order. You know, I'm not one of these people that call them the fuzz or anything.
Yeah.
I think we need them.
Well, don't you have a whole different attitude toward police in England than you do here for some reason? They're very different characters there.
Well, police in England, you know, not armed.
Yeah.
That always alarms me.
That seems to make a whole
gun on his hip.
difference. And
Also, a friend of mine, Kenny Moore, was doing an interview, I think for an American network, with the chief of police in London, with the commissioner of police, and they were discussing riot control. And the reason that the English don't need arms is that they have what they call face-to-face control of a rioter, rioting, you know, mobs.
yeah.
They will never let a gap come between the police line and the people, because if there's a gap, people can shoot or throw things. If they're face-to-face, only the front line can kick, you know, which is rather nasty.
Yes.
But anybody throwing things from the back are going to hit their friends in the front. So there is always a control.
So as soon as there's a mob, you rush right up to meet them
Get
before
face to face
and
with
close
you know,
the distance.
You should meet trouble head on.
Yeah. And this works.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do the various violent things that you do? I mean, would you have the edge over the average person now if you were approached by a mugger or something because of all of the things
Yes.
you had to learn to...
Oh, definitely. I can run faster than he can.
I meant the more direct things, like,
Well,
I'm sorry, it's that time again. Our local stations are calling.